and Revival.
So spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg, E.G. Revival. And his opponent, spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, it's the red Terran, CM Storm Polt.
So we're so happy to have Polt over here, as he did have a lot of internet issues. Hopefully everything is figured out, though. We'll have a flawless time with this. Opening up a barracks first. I know a lot of Terrans actually opting to go for CC first most of the time, but this normally encompasses a Reaper with it. You know, I'm almost of the opinion that if you do Reaper openings, it's really, really hard to go macro mode, just straight up 3CC, because I feel like a lot of Zergs just understand what they're up against. It's really only like Hellion attacks. They just push in the Overlord to see if there's any potential, you know, further aggression with 3 racks or a Banshee, and if they don't see that, they drone to the correct number of drones, and they just out-macro their opponents.
We'll have to see, though. I think the opening with Reaper and the Banshee is kind of good, though, actually, because it limits the Zerg, it slows down the third base, and as long as you don't overcommit to Banshees, then you're in a good spot even against Mutalisks.
Reaper Banshee? You like Reaper Banshee in particular?
I like to go Reapers and just make about 1 Banshee. I know Teja and Daishi do that a lot. It usually works out pretty well, because you're not committing too much. You delay the Zerg third. You can deny a lot of the creep spread with the Reapers and Hellions. And then as long as you don't commit too much to the Banshee attack and your Hellions, you can still be in a good spot economically with the third CC quickly as well.
You know, I'm kind of the opinion that if you're ever going Banshees, you should never get Reapers, though. Like, do you really see a big role for the Reaper in this early stage? I know it is to defend a lot of times, but each Reaper that pops out is 25 seconds faster that your Hellions could be popping out, and of course, your Banshees directly after
But
that.
it delays the third base of Zerg as well, because you usually can't take the third base against Reapers that early in the game.
Oh, true. Very true. We'll definitely see. I mean, you have to be 100% on top with that Reaper, and a lot of times you will be able to get the Extractor out, but as we can see, no Extractor is going to be taken.
Hey, I see something that's going to make you happy, though. You know what Polt's doing? He's only making 1 Reaper.
I would even say don't make any Reapers.
But you did say that you liked 1 more than 2.
Well, he's an intelligent human being. That's why. You, Ghost User, are also an intelligent human
I guess
being.
he is making 2, but 1's just later.
A lot later. Looks like he's making a Reaper and a Marine. This is kind of the stuff I like, though, about Polt. Like, he has such innovative stuff when it comes to his matchups. We'll see how he actually transitions directly out of this. No second refinery.
I actually like this, though. The way he's doing this, he has Marines to deny Overlords. He's still going to have the 2 Reapers, which, although you don't like it, I was talking to Major about it, and he said that you don't get them to deal damage to the drones. You get them because 2 is a lot better against Queens than 1 is when you have the Hellions out as well.
2 better against Queens?
Yeah. It just adds some extra DPS with the Hellions when you're fighting against the Queens.
It is important to note, if you guys didn't know this at home, Reapers actually have higher damage per second than Marines, unstimmed Marines, against only units that have no armor, and Queens, of course, don't have any base armor. So it does help out quite a bit, and of course the regenerative process that they have helps out so incredibly much for just free damage that they can do. Needs to be careful with this 1 Reaper, but he has great micro. Going to be able to back up. Revival getting Roach Warren down right now, as no metabolic boost has been initiated. Normally, a lot of Zergs want to get their third base up by 6:30, but that's not going to happen.
And this is why the Reaper opening still works out pretty well, because you can just delay the Zerg's third base for quite a while with this. Normally, the Zerg would have the third going up by now. But in this case, he can't take it yet until he has something to chase away those Reapers and Hellions.
Now, do you think this is a situation where Zerg should always get the metabolic boost and go for the 3-minute Extractor, or is what Revival is doing okay?
I think it's okay. It's just a different style of playing it. He's going to have to do something with his Roaches, though, if he's making this many of them. And I think it'll be difficult against the Marauder that Polt's made so early in the game.
Yep, definitely so. We'll find out, as no third command center is popped down by Polt. Polt just poking as much as possible. I like what we're seeing so far. He's being very aggressive, but Roaches should be able to stop all of this from happening. Drone going up into the third base going to be denied yet again by... No, Extractor is going to be made just to save that drone, so he's going to cancel that as soon as this one Hellion is cleared out. Single Roach will go down over here. But kind of cute, I would say, overall from Polt. Revival still has not gotten metabolic boost, so it really hurts him a lot. A mine drop going to be prepared directly after this. Still no third command center. You know, it's of popular opinion these days that to keep up with the Zerg, you have to get 3 command centers. But I guess denying this third hatchery for so long keeps the larva count so incredibly low, and now forcing out a lot of units helps out him a lot too.
Yeah, this is actually, I'm not sure how I like Revivo's play though. He made a lot of roaches. He made 8, I believe, which I feel like that's a bit more than you need to defend against the Hellions and the
I do too.
Reapers.
Normally the number is 5 that you get, right?
Yeah, you either get 5, sometimes 6. I usually don't see people go above 6 though, unless they're planning on putting on some aggression. Still, he's in a pretty good spot though. His lair is later than I would have liked as well. Partially because he made 2 extra roaches, partially just because he didn't opt to get it as quickly. So, seeing that, Polt knows that no quick Mutalisk are on the way. And he also knows no speed roach timing is going to come out that quickly.
And the scout is perfect. I mean, for you to be able to do that and make that call as the Terran, that allows you to be so much more aggressive with your units in the early game stages. Normally, you're so scared that Mutas will pop out and really punish drops like this. But that's not going to happen. He's going to be able to surprise his opponent, pop down, kill a queen, kill maybe a couple of drones, pop back up, drop again, and then start killing creep tumors, and knowing that there's no punish directly after that. There's no way for Revival to kill these 2 medevacs. So this is going to be so important. Let's see how well he does. Roaches are in position already, but is it going to be enough? That's what we're going to find out. Engagement is going to be pushed back, and it looks like Polt is just going to have to drop down on the low ground. This is actually going to force a lot of roaches popping out. And it looks like Revival is going to prepare for this big push as well. 1-1 has been initiated. Glee Reconstitution almost finished. And this is the standard, like, 11-minute timing.
I don't know if I like that scan that much, actually. It only saw 1 creep tumor, and it's not one that's even spreading in the direction of Polt's base.
Yeah, really unfortunate. Roaches are pushing across the map. It's important to note that there is no mass baneling directly behind this. Normally you will have a Zergling baneling roach all-in that comes in, but I don't even know. Is Metabolic Boost finished? I don't know if it was researched. I'm trying to look for Zerglings, but there's only 1 Zergling out. No! Metabolic Boost is not finished. So really, really crazy. This is just going to be a straight-up roach attack if it ever goes off.
It could be a style that I've seen a little bit of lately.
Yeah,
and,
I've seen Silky do this.
Yeah, you go +1/+1 roaches with speed, and then you transition into Mutaling Baneling.
Yes.
With +1 melee attack and +2 carapace afterwards.
It can be incredibly strong, but for the composition that Polt already has, it's such a Marauder-heavy... I say Marauder-heavy, there's only 2 Marauders so far in this composition, but just the fact that he has Marauders out here allows him to deal with it so much more. A lot of times, Terrans want to just go so lean with just Marines, Medevacs, and mines, so that they don't have to get so many gases. They can get their upgrades really fast. But with so many Marauders, it's going to deter these roaches from pushing up.
And we see Revival is actually choosing to get the +2 ranged attacks. So this kind of indicates that he wants to stick on a Roach Hydra composition in the mid game. Either that or he could go for Roach and Speed Baneling, but I think maybe we'll see him go Roach Hydra.
Yeah, we'll see. I would love to see Hydras. I mean, I know Polt has a little bit of experience with that ever since the Wings of Liberty day when he had his rivalry with Stefano. We'll see if it happens this time around. Now pushing over, there are 4 bunkers that are already in position to defend against this. Stim Marines are going to push forward, and there's a lot of mines directly behind there, but this is so many roaches, but Polt doing a good job cutting off the supply and making it so difficult. You don't want to be pushing in there with your roaches because you don't know how many units are back there. Now just directly engaging with equal upgrades. It looks like the roaches are not going to be enough as there's just too many Marines and Marauders, but a huge slew of reinforcements going to end here. Nice Widowmine connections. And guess what? The next round of Widowmine shots are going to pop out here pretty soon. There's just not enough roaches, and Polt going to hold this off with flying colors.
Yeah, this went as well as it could have for Polt. I think one thing that hurt Revival a lot is he didn't have an Overseer with his army, so he hasn't cleared out a single Widowmine in this attack.
Well, he did to begin with, but it got focused down. Polt was able to say, well, that's your only Overseer. Let me go ahead and take that out immediately. And from there, as you were about to say, the Widowmines just took over.
Yeah, and now he still has all of those Widowmines alive too, which will help him a lot when he does pushes later. Widowmines, they're still pretty good against Roach Hydra. They deal a lot of splash damage. They don't directly kill as many units as they do against Zergling Baneling, but they do a lot of splash, which just softens it up for that bio to kill so many of the units. And with this style, I feel like you have to get something done with the timing attack for Roach Hydra to be that effective against Zerg, or against Terran.
Yeah, I agree. And there's a position where Revival is just struggling to get his army up, and realistically, he needs to be thinking about getting a 4th base. You really need a 4th base to compete with a 3-base Terran. Right now, upgrades, not even a big advantage. 2-1 over and approaching 2-2. So this is just looking better and better and better for Polt.
I think we're going to see Revival just try to hit a timing with Roaches and Hydralisk, maybe make about 10 to 20 Hydralisk and try to do an attack, which is pretty much all in with that. Because although he's taking a 4th base, you still have to do damage at some point with Roach Hydra.
Yeah.
Because as Terran gets more upgrades and as their army gets bigger, it just snowballs a bit better than Roach Hydra.
Yeah, just the medevac count helps out so much more too with just being able to heal all your units.
Yeah.
They become a lot more leaner.
A maxed out bio army with medevacs will almost always beat a maxed out Roach Hydra army.
Yep.
Unless it's some incredible concave for the Zerg or something like that.
So that's why Polt isn't going for any main engagements, because at this time, during the build-up, Revival will have just the advantage overall. He's just going to be poking around, prodding, trying to kill as much creep. Maybe he sees a little opening, tries to kill a 4th base, tries to do damage against a drone line, but really Polt's objective is to take not to take, but to gain as many units as possible, max out. He's at 189 supply, and then hit. Normally it's a 2-2 timing, but look at this. Siege tanks are going to be chosen.
Yeah, choosing the siege tank option, he might choose to go for some more medevac drops and do a slightly later timing. We'll have to see. He is moving out now though, and
wow.
he has a lot of Widow Mines, he has a lot of bio, he has 2-2 as well. So I think he's in a pretty good spot right now.
Oh, but he needs to be careful because he is being sandwiched, but Widow Mine's coming in from behind with a large amount of Marines and Marauders. This might work out so well. The Widow Mine hits are actually going to be negated quite a lot. Now the rest of the army just trying to isolate the right-hand side, but is it going to be enough?
The problem is a lot of those Hydralisks were killed from behind.
Yeah.
And the Hydralisk is what deals most of the DPS in the Roach Hydra composition. Early in the game, the Roaches can work out pretty well, but once they get a lot of medevacs, it's the Hydras that you need. And Polt was able to flank those and kill most of them pretty early on.
Just such a one-sided fight from the last battle. And
Even
it really
without
shows you.
most of the Widow Mines shooting.
Yeah, I mean, you can really just see the power of Marine Marauder. When you have equal counts for both sides now pushing on in, the Roach count is pretty high relative to the Marine Marauder. But still, now with the Widow Mine connections, it's going to be very cost efficient. All Polt has to do is just rinse and repeat. Keep going for this constant 200-200 attack, and if ever your opponent, or if ever the Zerg player tries to switch over into another tech, that's when you're pushing in. 3-3 underway as we speak. Marines and Marauders are already up, and it looks like Polt is just going to buy a little bit more time, putting his units out on the map and making it incredibly hard for a direct engagement, for a direct push to come out here with the Roaches.
And I think Polt's playing a bit to take advantage of this map in the late game because he's added several command centers. And I think he realizes it's kind of difficult for Zerg to defend with 4th base as they take more bases, especially in this map and especially with Roach Hydra. There's not too much anti-air, and we see a Revival's composition is pretty much only Roaches at this point, which is going to hurt him too.
Yes.
Because he can't actually clean up any of these medevacs.
Yeah, and he can't realistically switch over to anything. I don't even think he got metabolic boost yet still.
Yeah, Polt's just kind of making him run back and forth around the map to defend these medevac drops, and he's not able to kill any units. So this isn't working out well at all for him.
And you have to think, for every time he's dropping like this, or even skirting the units around, that is 30 seconds that he's buying. That's a full round of units coming out of the barracks. And if you have, 8 barracks up on the field, that is a considerable amount of supply, 16 supply right there that you're able to get just by doing nothing, just moving around the map. That's perfect.
Now he has siege tanks as well, which is going to make it even more difficult. Revival is adding infestors, which I like. That'll help his composition out quite a bit. But I think the problem is he doesn't have any Hydralisk right now.
Yeah. And is this ever a position where he can know and just make Vipers to react to this, or is it too late?
I think it's going to be too late if Polt pushes now. If he can somehow stop this push, then the Vipers will help him out a lot.
Yeah.
But he has to hold off this push first, and right now he's kind of gas starved, so he can't afford many Vipers after he's made those infestors as well.
It's going to be so incredibly hard, but we're going to see how this main engagement actually pops out of here. What's really concerning to me is the amount of medevacs that are on the field.
This positioning is so good for Polt, too.
Yes.
How can he engage up this ramp? With Roach Hydra, you rely on getting a good concave to beat these Terran forces.
And there's no way to get a concave. He's going to attack into this. And remember, the Marines and Marauders, most of them are all the way up there. Fungal Growths will go down, but not really getting beautiful ones as Marines and Marauders are cleaning up everything.
And just look at the supply falling through arrival.
Jesus.
130 now.
130 to 177. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. GG. Polt will take the first game that he's played tonight. This is